not the moment, it should be there within the next minute or two. Everybody can see that okay? And everyone online can see me and hear me? Perfect. Everyone feel good? Everyone have their coffee? They have whatever they need? They're feeling good this morning? Wonderful. Well, welcome, and thanks so much for joining me this morning, and thank you for asking me to be here. This is a topic that I fell into with my job because I am a personal trainer, I am a fitness wellness expert, and one of the biggest things that I found was holding a lot of people back was stress. And as most of us have heard, one of the best stress relievers out there is exercise. So the two kind of went hand in hand. And it's really funny because I say at least 3 or 4 times a week to my clients. Now, just a reminder, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, but it's just, it comes with the territory of the job that it is very personal, because when we are trying to undo a lifetime of, I don't want to call them bad habits, but maybe less than ideal habits, it gets very personal, and there's a lot of mental that goes along with it. So that's why I have really been stressing stress. So see if I can get this working the way I want it to here as well. So why are we here today? So this is just some of the things, maybe why you felt like this was interested in coming. You notice, or you've been told, anybody's ever told you seemingly small things trigger you or set you off? A lot of times we either know it does or somebody has told us that it does. You have trouble getting to sleep at night, or you can't fall back to sleep because you can't turn off your mind. Oh, I can't turn it off. Been told by a medical professional that you need to reduce your stress, especially if you've experienced an anxiety or panic attack. A lot of people mistake it for a heart attack, and then you're told, oh no, that's a panic attack. I wasn't stressed. There was nothing stressing me out, but sometimes there's a lot going on, and we're going to talk about that. Your work and or home life are affected, and sometimes it's both, and sometimes it's just one. One tends to give way to the other. Sometimes it's like, oh, my work is going really well, but I'm really stressed at home, or my home life is great, but then stress at work. You feel angry, impatient, or wound up, overwhelmed, nervous, like you can't, like your thoughts are racing and you can't switch it off. You're unable to enjoy yourself or can't take time for the things you used to love. You feel depressed, that you've lost your sense of humor. You need a drink to unwind after a hard day. Anybody just need a glass of wine after the day? It's a big one. Yeah. This is a big one. When somebody asks you, how are you? Busy. It's busy. So busy. And I catch myself doing that too. Things going good, but oh, so busy. Deal with people, period. Because that stresses us out, period. You deal with people, there's going to be stressors. And you know, any of these things are possible. Sometimes stressful, customer-oriented, deadline-driven careers, and you want to ensure you can handle this in the best way possible. So it's not necessary that you're feeling all those things, but you know that's a part of this or dealing with people, and you want to make sure you're giving yourself a chance to get through that without being too overwhelmed or irritated or stressed. Just a little bit me. I am an award-winning fitness and wellness expert. I have been voted as one of Halifax's top personal trainers for the last 4 years. Last year, I received the top position of platinum for personal trainer, fitness and wellness facility for my online membership program, and also weight loss and nutrition. So that was a pretty exciting, when I opened it up and I saw platinum for all 3. So that was very exciting. Thank you. I am a 50-year-old mom of 3. I have a daughter who's 20, and then I have 2 boys that are 11 and 13. So life, let's just call it chaotic. I do have 2 decades of experience in fitness and nutrition. Specialize in helping the overwhelmed midlife woman regain control of their physical and mental health, adding life to their years. I focus on empowering you to manage stress and achieve holistic wellness. And a lot of times the word holistic, some people think it's kind of like woo-hooey, but that's not what I mean by holistic. It's very much it's not just, hey, let's exercise as hard as you can and go, 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 go. That's not what creates a healthy lifestyle. And that's what I do. Yes, I help people lose weight and get stronger, but at the same time, my main goal is to help everyone live their healthiest and best life. I am founder of the popular virtual fit camp, which started during COVID. I went from what I used to call myself the little trainer that could. I had a studio in my home. I trained one-on-one, and all I wanted to do. And then, of course, COVID, and I was lumped in with the gyms and talk about stress. I went from a full roster of personal training clients and teaching fitness classes in my community at Fall River, absolutely like overnight. It was not, and of course, even though I was a small studio, I was lumped in with the gyms. We all know we were the last to open and the first to get shut down. Yeah. So it was a very tumultuous couple of years, and I decided, hey, what's this Zoom thing? It's that, and I just 2 weeks, I immersed myself in everything Zoom. I started offering just some free virtual classes because I was too terrified to charge anything, because what if it didn't work? Because I had no idea what I was doing with this virtual. And it just became one of the things I ever did. I tore down my website in July of 2020, completely revamped my entire business model, and started this virtual fit camp. And it was the best decision I ever made. I now have work with women all over the world. Join my membership program. It's a monthly membership. I teach 5 fitness classes a week. Keeps me active and going. I do meal prep workshops. We have online challenges. Every couple of months, we'll do something fun. And then we get together in person sometimes too. I do a retreat, a women's wellness retreat every spring. And we do hikes and all that sort of stuff. Help the overwhelmed midlife woman reinvent herself both physically and mentally. This is the big part. We're not just adding years to your life, we're adding life to those years. That is extremely important, because a lot of times in the medical, we talk about longevity, how long do we live? What's our lifespan? I want to know, what's my health span? It's fine if I live to 90, if 15, 20 of those years, I can't really do the things I love. And it's not really, do I really want to live that long if I can't do anything? I want to have health span. I want to live a really long time and have fun doing it. Just get rid of stress, right? Just your stress, get rid of it. Easier said than done. Have you ever heard someone say, we need to remove stress from our lives? Really? What would you like me to get rid of first? My house, my business, my husband, my children, my car, the dishwasher that's not working properly. What would you like me to get rid of first? Oh. Oh, yeah. Stacey's just asking if we're going to email that.
Jump to the latest. There's another one below it. Sherry left. Sherry joined. Sherry left. Yeah, she has some stress.
No stress.
I know. Sherry. Yeah, it's I just
stress. No stress. No stress.
It's a positive person.
No. It's a lot easier said than done, right? We can't get rid of stress. So that's what we're going to talk about. It's not about, I'm telling you, you need to remove all the stress. It's about managing it and understanding it. Because when you have a better understanding of what stress does to your body and how your body responds to stress, because your body might respond different than somebody else's, when you have that better understanding and you have that awareness, then you're going to be much better able to manage stress, which makes you a healthier and happier individual. So if you did a search on Google, which I did, obviously, how to get rid of stress fast. Actually, I said how to get rid of stress. It came up as people also asked, how do you get rid of stress? We even made the question stressful. I need to get rid of it. Close your eyes, take deep breaths, stretch or meditate. Yeah, great, because we have lots of time to do that all the time. Just close your eyes. All the stress will disappear. And I mean, this works, yes. And we're going to do a little bit of that at the end. We're going to do a little bit of a progressive relaxation. So something that you could do parked in your car. When I said in your car, I went, let's not do that while you're driving, but you can certainly pull over, park in your car, in your office, at home. There's some things I'll get you to do. Yes, writing things down that you're grateful for, checking in with yourself, take time to ask yourself how you're feeling, laugh. Absolutely, all those things are great. It's not magic. It's just something that, it's a tool. Another tool. All of these are going to be tools. What stresses you out? What stresses you out? You got a timelines, deadlines.
Yell at me.
Yeah, that is stressful.
Someone yelled at me yesterday. Yell at me. I'll tell you, I'll check them out. Certain clients stress me out. I've had some pretty stressful clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People,
Mother.
people, timelines,
Menopause.
the pause, right? That's a whole other, that's a whole other presentation. That's a whole other kick to boodle.
Yeah.
Anything else? What do you all do?
Doing all the work needs to get done
Mm-hmm.
at work and at home.
Sure.
It's not feeling like you don't have the time for it.
That's an overwhelm, right? That overwhelm of there's definite tools. Daisy for something. Daisy, thank you. Disappointing people really stresses me out. Yeah. Which is hard when negotiating for sure. Sure. People find things just in home stressful, something not working properly. Driving, some people find driving very stressful. That's one of my examples I'm going to use as well.
Because for me in this job, for me, because it's up and down and then it's never steady.
Right.
It's never this way, it's always.
Technology.
Technology.
Second it stops working immediately.
Technology is wonderful when it works. Oh, not so good when it doesn't.
That's immediately.
Yeah. That's why we marry men.
I'm actually the computer fixer in my house, and it stresses me out when I hear my name being called. Oh, what have I got to fix now? Let's not tell myself that. Oh, we have external and internal stressors. We've all talked about external stressors for the most part, but we've talked about a few things that how we take it on, right? How we feel that in our body, how our body responds. So historically, we had mainly physical stressors. Now, when I say historically, I'm talking like, hey, let's talk like lion, caveman, bear, right? So unfortunately, what happens, all these stresses that we talked about, they're the lions and the bears in our lives. So our body responds in the exact same way as if you encounter a bear. It doesn't feel always that way, but maybe think driving. You're driving, somebody swerves in front of you. You have that big reaction, you slam on the brakes, you swerve, and your body you're sweating, and your heart and your pupils have dilated, and so it's the same. As if somebody, one of our cave ancestors were running a bear. We still love to blame the external stressors. We love to blame the bears. What my job is today is to hopefully help you see that not always the external, it's what's happening inside that's actually causing stress. So here's the driving. Does anybody get stressed when they're driving? Anybody here? Ooh.
Downtown Halifax, yeah.
Downtown Halifax. Trying to find parking. If you need to get somewhere in a hurry, but there's a ton of traffic, does anybody feel like their temperature kind of rises a little bit where you're just like, can everybody please just get out of my way? Don't you understand that what I'm doing is extremely important? Right? So sometimes stressing out.
I live in the valley.
That's what I live in the valley. But when I'm in the city, I definitely feel stressed, right? For sure. So some people find driving extremely stressful. Has anyone ever gone for a Sunday drive to rid of stress?
Yeah, right, that's the worst. Only drivers out there.
But the Sunday drivers are out there because they enjoy
Driving the rest of us crazy.
Maybe that's what they're set out to do, right?
So
Maybe that's
drive cruise is at 130. That's when I'm feeling good.
stress.
100%.
So what my point is that driving is the thing. For some people it's stressful and some people it's not. It's how that stressor is perceived, how that person is taking it on, dictates whether it's a stressor. The thing itself is just a thing. It's just driving. It's how you interpret that is going to determine the level of stress, whether there is stress or not, or what level. Well, what is one thing that you can do if you're pressed for time? Would alleviate that stress if you did come on a bunch of traffic.
Earlier.
So we know driving stresses us out. We know that we have to go downtown Halifax. We know that's chaotic. We know we have to give ourselves a little. I mean, we all know that. I'm not telling you anything earth-shattering new, but it's, again, it's the way you perceive it. When you know you have a lot long, you have 15 minutes to get somewhere, or you have 45 minutes to get somewhere, that's going to change your level of stress completely if you encounter traffic. It's our individual perception of that stressor that makes it a stress. Some stress is helpful. You need to swerve at a traffic when you have to slam on the brakes. Stress response, that immediate flight, that is a stress response. So some stress is helpful. Exercise stresses our body out. It's a helpful stress. It's a good stress. I get stressed when I do a presentation. I get kind of sweaty. I had to take off my cardigan. I get kind of sweaty. I get nervous. I get butterflies. And who was I just saying that to? I was just saying, I have been doing, and especially even in the last couple of months, I've done 8 or 9 speaking engagements in the last couple of months. And I still am nervous and stressed every single time because I care. If I didn't care, that's when I start making mistakes, and that comes across. My passion for this, my passion for presenting, my passion for wanting, and I always say, if I can just get one person to really take this in, make a serious change in their life because of something I've shared, I'm a success, but that stresses me out. I just need to say the right thing. So some stressful is helpful. Things we enjoy can be stressful. I love my job. Love my job. There's parts of it that stress me out. Well, not listening to me stress me out. No, any of the little office works stresses me out. Technology, that's all part of my job. I love what I do, but it stresses me out. I love my children. Boy, do they stress me out. I saw a meme recently and it said, I love you so much I would die for you, but I really don't want to make you dinner right now. Right? Just some days. And instead of focusing on the stressor, we can start paying closer attention to the feelings of stress itself and how we view it so we can manage it better. Anyone have an idea of how do you feel when you start to get stressed? What is the first thing you feel? So how does that feel in your body? What is an anxious feeling in your body? Is it still? Stomach. Oh, that's where I carry all my stress right here.
I find it depends on stress, like certain situations will lead me to the cupboard and the others will send me to bed.
And that's true. Who eats more when they're stressed?
Oh, no.
Can't eat when they're stressed.
Oh.
It depends on the stress. Exactly. So that's recognizing. You're starting to pay attention. Are you getting a headache? Gonna say something?
Like a lot of anxiety since my stomach. It's like the constant anxiety, but I also get a lot of almost like a vibrating feeling in my lower back.
Okay, interesting. And I wonder that could even be something like a shallow breathing. Our diaphragm sits right there and kind of around. And when we can't get those deep breaths in because we're that shallow, we get stressed, right? We slow it down. But it's just sometimes tension. We're going to talk about that, right? Our whole body gets stressed. That stress response is tension. Yeah, the shoulders, tighten, headaches, stomach pain, sweating, grinding our teeth, clenching our jaw. That's mine. My husband always knows because he can see the muscle right here. Look. So our stress response. I'm pretty sure this was photoshopped. I'm pretty sure it was photoshopped. From what when I looked it up, I was like, I'm pretty sure this photoshopped. But it's a really good presentation of what we talked about. We have our stress. We have the first response, flight or freeze. And there's another one now that they've talked about. So the main 3. That, right? You run, and then people. That's called procrastination in the general. Can't do anything. I'm so burnt out. I'm so overwhelmed. Can't do anything. I don't even know where to start. First response is immediate and unconscious. Somebody swerves in front of you in traffic, or is around the corner. When you come around the corner, your initial response, you have no control over it. For our survival, swerving out of the way of traffic. You don't actually go, oh, there is a car swerving in front of me. I should swerve off the road. right? No, we don't do that. It's slam on the brake and swerve. You don't even think about it. It's so quick, very unconscious. What happens though, when the bear disappears or you pull over to the side of the road and you know you're safe and you're fine and you're kind of like, oh my goodness, and you start to finally calm down so that you can drive again. That's a stress response. We have this cycle that happens when we're stressed. I think that's on my next slide. Maybe not, but we'll get there in a second. So when we have a stress response, so we get stressed, we feel the stress, recover from it, we get through it, and then we get back to our level of what's called homeostasis, or back to our neutral. What happens when we have that stress response? Our pupils dilate, salivate as much, thing relaxes, heart rate, our lungs relax because we need to big breath in case we need to outrun the bear. And then we are breathing a little faster, heart rate goes up, digestion stops because we're outrunning the bear, we're swerving from traffic, we don't need to digest our food at the moment. That stimulates glucose production, that's really important. We talk about perimenopause and menopause and stress hormones, and the midsection we have some weight gain. That's really important to remember because this is what happens when we get stressed. We're talking about acute stress right now. Secretion of adrenaline, need the adrenaline, inhibits bladder contraction, and stimulates orgasm. That's the other presentation. So, some stress. So you perceive a threat or danger. The hypothalamus activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is this. The brain instructs the adrenal glands to produce adrenaline, which is what adrenaline is released throughout the bloodstream, and that's what to go on. The stress response number 2, after that initial immediate can't control it, cortisol is then released by the adrenals, increases blood sugar to outrun the bear. You need some blood sugar. You need to get going, so blood sugar is released. Muscles tense for action. Suppresses the immune system. Doesn't need to work on the immune system right now. We need to outrun the bear. They're not worried about you fighting off the germ right now. You have to outrun the bear. Close your digestion down. Doesn't need to digest. You're outrunning the bear. Increases your heart rate. Increases inflammation. Still doing studies on that one. One of the theories is that years and years ago, they didn't wear shoes. You lived in the woods or whatever it was, and they thought that you could hurt your foot, do whatever when you were running, escaping the bear or the lion. So it increased the inflammation to help you heal faster. It's a theory. Don't think it's been proven yet. I haven't seen any peer review studies on that yet, but that is a theory, which was interesting. Stimulates arousal and focus because you need to focus if you're outrunning the bear. So, this is our stress cycle. Neutral, your body's in a neutral state, or we like to think it is. Beginning, the threat is perceived. It's the bear, it's the lion, it's the car that's swerved in front of me. Fight or flight response, swerve out of the way. You're not supposed to run away from a bear. For the record, don't run away from a bear, but that's would be our initial, when you can't control it, sometimes that's what you want to think about. You in our ancestor days, they would shoot the bear or shoot the lion or whatever they had to do, and it would bring the animal back to the tribe and tell the story and calm themselves down and celebrate, and then the stress cycle is over. So let's remember this. This is really important when we start talking about our everyday life. We've been talking about that acute stress. Something quick happens, something quick happens. We've talked about this. Now I want you to imagine you're stressed how many times a day? How many times a day does something stress you out?
Well,
one for every hour that you're awake.
Yeah, I feel like
maybe.
an hour.
So, is this happening every single time you get stressed? Now, you might have 12 external stressors. How many times do you relive what happened?
Oh, you shouldn't ask me that question.
Right? How many times?
Groundhog Day, my house.
You wake up at 2 a.m. should have said this, I could have done this, right? So you're reliving it over and over and over again. Your body does not know what you're thinking about is acute happening right now, or the fact that you're just remembering what happened. Your body is reliving it over and over and over again. So these things happening over and over and over again. Slowing your digestion down. Where did we say we feel it when we get stressed? In the pit of our stomach. Just a heartbeat. My heart palpitations. Or just a higher than normal heart rate. Increased inflammation. Muscles are tense. Suppresses the immune system. What happens if your immune system is suppressed? We get sick. Cortisol is being released. Cortisol and weight gain kind of go hand in hand. Kind of. They do go hand in hand. Increases blood sugar for energy. Gain. This is happening over and over and over again because you are running a bear 12 plus times a day. Damn bears, those damn bears. So think about what is happening to your body every time you get stressed. Your body doesn't know the difference between a bear or your boss, or a bear in the car, or a bear and something that you're worried about. I mean, one of your kids, you're worried about one of your kids, and we think for some reason that laying in bed and worrying about it for 3 hours is actually a thing. But we are living that over and over and over again, how we're perceiving it. When you never complete the stress cycle, evidence is showing what happens when you are chronically stressed. Living those acute constantly becomes chronic. Weight gain, high blood pressure, fatigue, changes in mood, irritability, food cravings, thinning skin, flushed face, difficulty concentrating, insulin resistance, trouble falling asleep, 3 a.m. wake up, aches and pains, muscle cramps, and bone density, increased inflammation, and decreased immune response. Yay! We wonder why stress is slowly killing us.
Seriously.
It does sound like menopause. Well, and that's one of the biggest things with menopause. There is a stress hormone that cortisol is increased. So that's why stress management and exercise is so important. It's more important during peri and perimenopause and menopause, because it's being released. As long as your check engine light who ignores their check engine light, not your physical check engine light, your body check engine light. Who ignores it? Who ignores that knot in your stomach? Ignores the tension? Who ignores the jaw clenching? I just gotta do this. I've got to get through this. As soon as I get through this, then I can calm down. I just have to do this. Am I the only person that's ever said, once I finish this, then I'll be in a better place? Then it's the next thing and the next thing. The time a symptom shows up, a million things may have already gone wrong. A million things might be happening in your body before you actually get a serious symptom. And then it's figuring out, and our medical system is not designed to get a lot of times to the root cause. So much has happened, it's kind of difficult to find out what the root cause is. Our medical system is very much, they're finding illness, they're trying to cure the illness. What is your symptom? We need to, and I don't like to just call it a Band-Aid, but a lot of times that's what it is. It's like, let's just fix this symptom. Let's give you this pill for this. Well, this pill might cause another problem. So same thing with stress. I have a headache, I'm going to take an Advil. Well, what's caused the headache? It could be a number of different things that's happened from a stressor on through your whole system. Societal lifestyle doesn't help. Sitting at desks. Value on busyness. How many things can you get done a day? And I've been very proud when I'm like, these are all the things I did today and accomplished, and I feel good. Let's forget the fact that I was stressed for the entire 16 hours during the day because like, I gotta do this, It's like, oh, give me a badge. I would like a medal, please, because I accomplished all that today. We value this busyness. Salts and preservatives in food, antibiotics, the standard diet. A lot of inflammation happening in our body because of our standard diet, because of what we're eating. And inflammation causes stress, stress in the body leads to other things, da 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 da. Digestion issues, gluten and dairy intolerances, we're seeing more and more and more. Born toxins, caring for parents, caring for children, crazy diets. Crazy diets, oh, so bad for our body. Messes up our body a lot when we're constantly dieting, taking medications for dieting. We're not going to get into that. We don't want my opinion on any of that. So but it really does cause a lot of problems in our body that we don't even realize. Yeah, great, it helps you lose weight, but what else is it doing to your body? Managing stress. We're not eliminating stress. If it gets eliminated in the process, a good way, that's good. That we're gonna learn how to manage it. This is where we need our little sheet. Managing stress. 4 outs. Different ways that we can manage stress. We can zone out, we can escape it. Energy out. I know that's not a real sentence, but we're gonna just go there. Let it out physically. Get out, resolve it, fill out, refuel, and re-energize. So I would like to grab your pen as we go through this, and online you can let me know as well. Give me some examples of zoning out. Going for a walk, yes, that could also be energy out. Could also be chilling it out. Could also be, you could be resolving it while you're walking. This is why it's having a nap, definitely.
Watching TV.
Watching TV is a big one, where people just want to zone out. It's another one.
Scrolling.
Scrolling, right? You're just reading, yeah. Well, none of these are wrong, so write them down, because this is going to be your sheet, because there's going to be a reason that I'm getting you to write it down. Just think of the different things, all the different things we said. Reading, watching TV, Netflix and chill, scrolling on a phone, going for a walk, or bed. What else do people do when say I just need to escape the stress of my day? I already talked about it. What do you do when you get home? I'm not saying we do that. Some
Sometimes I talk to friends,
talk to friends.
even if it's just a text message
Yeah.
to.
That's probably more working it out, resolving it. So zoning it, another one is people drink.
That was number 1 on my list. I just didn't want to say it.
Sorry, what did you say?
Drinking.
Glass of wine.
Drinking. I just need drink. Just need a beer. I just need a wine.
Sometimes just going into a room by myself, not having anyone talk to me.
And there's just so everyone's aware, there's no judgment on any of this, and I'll explain why in a minute. Let me see. Let's see. I don't drink, but I love me a good cup of tea and sit outside. Yeah, definitely. Driving also lets me zone out. This is Stacy, and Stacy says walking my dog. So zoning, right? We talked about the driving. So she actually likes it to manage stress.
So I take the dog, come on, Dolly, let's go lay on the bed for a minute, and then she follows me.
So it's
Not with
zoning
big
out,
cuddles.
right? Zoning
Yeah.
out. And it's also chilling out. Taking a nap, just laying down, sitting in a dark room. These are all chilling out as well. So put them in energy out, let it out physically. We've talked about walking the dog, going for a walk.
Yeah,
X, right?
working out. like
Working out,
eight.
exercise.
Yeah, sometimes sex can be work. Okay, that was good. Oh. My day is complete.
It's a first
For every stress for the next 12 hours.
it's like let's write that one down. That's a cursory of all the times I've presented this. That's a good one. Sometimes it is a lot of work. Who knows? Work it out. So resolving it. Communication, talking with friends. Therapy, thank you. That's a really big one. And I'm going to put it out there right now. Everybody, whether you think you have a problem or not, everybody should be in therapy.
Great.
Everyone. Even if you go and go, yeah, don't have anything. I think everyone should have someone that's unbiased, professional, that they can speak to. And chill out. We talked about that. So chill out could just be sitting on the deck with the dog, or sitting on the bed with the dog, sitting on the front deck. What did we say? I love a cup of tea and sit outside.
Queen Blizzard.
Dairy Queen Blizzard. That's chilling out. That could also be some people eat sugar and because they zone out. Right? Just mindless eating. Right? How many? We just put our hand in. That's what he leaves potato. I'm picking on my husband today. He leaves potato chip bags. And if they're there, we'll have my hand in the chip bag and a chip in my mouth and not even realize what I'm doing because it's so mindless. It's just sometimes we just zone out. I just need to eat.
Water for me.
Water. Awesome. So some of these we feel kind of more negative towards, and you know, that some of them seem like they're really good things. Some of them seem that's not the case. When the problem happens, when we are always doing the exact same thing. So for some people, it's every single day I get home, I have to have that glass of wine, have to drink a few beers, whatever that might happen to be. We're always going to the exact same thing. During COVID, people will go to the gym. That is their stress relief. What happened to them? All they knew. That's the only stress management technique they knew. It's gym. Completely lost. And they didn't have their gym to go to. So the problem happens when we're always doing the exact same thing. So what you want to do is start looking over the next week or two. Start noticing what you're doing. You find that you're always in the same category. And if you are, maybe that's a great time to start looking at, okay, what other categories? What were some of the other things people talked about? Let me try things from different categories. Because when you have this toolbox of all these different tools, it's going to be much better. You know, think about opening up a toolbox and all there is hammers. And you need to unscrew a screw, or you need to screw in, and there's no screws or screwdrivers. All there is hammers. Because that's all. So you want a toolbox that's full of a lot of different types of tools. And you can do that so that, say, if you get to the gym, or your dog is not present to go for a walk or to lay on the bed, or you're not home to lay on the bed, you're driving in your car, what are some of the other tools that you have? Oh, I have to do this because this is my jam. But nutrition and hormonal balance. Paying attention to emotional and mindless eating, we talked about that. Mindful eating is a practice that can be learned. So please put the bag of potato chips in the cupboard so that I can't see it. Or having that, you know, like, okay, you don't need that. You don't need that. Get away from distractions. And I know sometimes who eats in their car.
Oh yeah, I think we all do. Yeah, I don't, but.
Right? Yeah. Right. And sometimes we have to. We have to eat. If that's our only option, that's okay. But when you can, being away from distractions, maybe it is stopping in a parking lot, or I was like, oh, to go to the park. Just parking there and looking at the water and having a bite to eat and then moving on your way. If there's little things that we can do to just get away from distractions, avoid food that cause inflammation. Remember, I talked about inflammation causes stress. Stress presents itself in different ways. Pay attention to your why you are eating. Is it actual hunger, bored, stressed, tired? Have a real issue with what's called intuitive eating. Because if you have never been in an environment of healthy eating, of a lifestyle where you've always experienced either yourself or you grew up in a house of dieting, diet culture, worrying about weight, you've tried like crazy things, whatever, and I use the word crazy, a lot of different things. I've done them too. I've tried lots in my time. Intuitive eating means nothing. Okay, my brain tells me I'm hungry. It's actually bored. Or I'm, so listening to hunger cues is kind of hard sometimes when you don't really have baseline to go on. So it's learning that. So paying attention to your why. So this plays a huge factor in stress management. Because this is something that a lot of us don't have as much control over as we like. And what is one of the biggest stressors out of all the stuff we talked about? What's causing that stress? It's our environment, but it's a lack of control over that. That's why people were so stressed during those first few months of COVID, because we lost all control. We didn't have any control over things. We're really stressed about that, relying on somebody else to tell us what to do. It's really hard. Like being in control. When we talk about all of those stressors, most of those, when we talked about the external stressors, it's because we don't have control. This is one of the things that you can gain control over. When you do gain control over this, it feels really freaking good. Not only physically, but mentally as well. Exercise. Let's do this. Yeah, my jam. Yep. Exercise is a powerful tool for enhancing mood, reducing stress, and promoting well-being. Stimulates the release of endorphins, that feel-good chemical. Allows you to be more resilient when stressors do present themselves. Of course, you have to be careful because overtraining or being distracted can have negative side effects. So you have to be careful that with everything, like we talked about on this list. Well, some is good, a lot may not be good. It's being careful. Exercise, it really is one of the best stress relievers. It doesn't have to be a 2-hour workout. It could be a 10-minute walk. Sometimes, most times, that's all you need is a few minutes. I've shared this story before, and I may have shared it with this group. Husband and I were having an argument about something. I know I talk about this. But I love them, right? We still love things that stress us out. But we were having an argument about something. It was a few minutes before I had to teach class. I was pretty upset. Had tears. I was angry. I had the whole stress response. I had to teach class, and I was sitting on my couch that's in my studio, and I was sitting there, and I'm 2 minutes before my class starts. I'm like, I have to do this. I can't just go on. Sorry, I'm sad. I can't teach class. Everybody's waiting and relying on me. So I went to the bathroom, splashed water on my face, make it till I make it. So I'm here. Let's do this. Da 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 da. Totally not in a good headspace at all. Within 10 minutes, starting to feel better. Stress was leaving my body. I was feeling good. At the end of the class, it's fine. It's just whatever it was. And I'm gonna, to this day, I cannot remember what we were fighting. And now I tried. What was that? Because I use it all the time. I'm like, what's that? It's very serious in the moment. I was very angry, very stressed. By the end of that fitness class, I was feeling it didn't bother me, and we didn't go to bed angry. I had just ignored it, went out and fumed, we going to bed angry at each other. It was like, it's not a big deal. Let's just forget it. Let's just move on. Exercise. Tailoring fitness to your needs, incorporating strength training. There's your dog. Incorporating strength training, low impact exercise into your fitness routine, supports muscle health and joint stability, crucial during stressful times, but don't be afraid of getting outside your comfort zone. Trying new things. In the last 3 or 4 years, I have become an avid hiker and backpacker, where I've done multi-day. Last summer, I did 230 kilometers along the East Coast Trail in Newfoundland over 2 weeks. I've done Cape Chignecto here. It's a 53 kilometer. I've done that 5 times. Next week, I leave for Vancouver Island. I am hiking the West Coast Trail, which is one of my big bucket list items. It's very challenging, 75 kilometers, lots of ladders and parts that go across the river that you have to pull yourself across. If you had told me 5 years ago I was going to be doing this, I would have said you are absolutely crazy. No way, no how. Do that. My parents used to do that when they were in their 40s and 50s, and I thought they were crazy. I'm like, you just walk your house on your back for dates? Why? Now my daughter is like, you just walk with your house on your back for dates? Why? You hold that thought. Oh, wait. Outside in nature, so don't be afraid to do something new. Get outside, fresh air. It compounds it. When you get outside and you're exercising and you're escaping and you're zoning out, and when you walk for a long time, you're also working a lot of things out, because there's nothing better just walking for an hour and not speaking to anybody, and you're just in nature, just kind of one step in front of the other, catching a glimpse of things. Work out a lot of your problems. I have solved a lot of things. I've made a lot of really great decisions when I'm in the middle of a hike. Get outside your comfort zone. It's amazing. You won't know what you like and don't like unless you try it. A lot of times you think you're not going to, and then you do something and it's really cool. It's really good. Some recovery. It's our zoning out. That is our chilling out. It's our refueling. Quality sleep plays a vital role in managing hormonal balance, perimenopause, menopause. Sufficient rest is crucial for muscle repair, energy restoration, and mental well-being. Sleep resets the autonomic nervous system, which regulates involuntary physiological processes, including heart rate, blood pressure, respiration, digestion, and sexual arousal. We need sleep. This is when our immune system kicks in. So if you're not getting enough sleep, immune system doesn't have the time to do what it needs to do. So if you're, just say October, and the flu bugs and the germs and little people are coming around with all these sorts of things, you're not getting any sleep, well, your immune system is going, all right, a lot. Haven't given me enough time to do my job. So now what happens, of course, during perimenopause and menopause? It's at 2 a.m. Flash. We're just wakey.
Sleep.
One of the best things that I have found for 2 a.m. wake up, not necessarily the hot flashes per se, because sometimes we just can't even help that. Putting a fan, open windows, that sort of thing, and the whole covers off, covers on, covers off, covers on.
Lego.
Leg out. There's been many mornings I've woke up and my shirt, which is probably sweaty throughout the night, is in a blob by the side of my bed, and I'll wake up, I'm like, hate it from the waist up. Right? Just because I got hot and just threw it off. But for the 2 a.m. wake up, where you wake up and you feel like I'm ready to start my day, and you're like, oh, come on, it's 2 a.m. What I have, some of the study and also from some of the people that I've worked with, is cutting out sugar and a lot of carbohydrates in the evening has helped. Because what happens when we have sugar spikes, when we eat sugar and drink the glass of wine with sugar and eat, when we have a dip in the middle of the night, we have a big dip, and then cortisol gets released because our body is using sugar. So it's cortisol goes up, and what does cortisol do? Now, let's start worrying about all those things that you've not been thinking about for the last 4 hours. Let's start thinking about it all now. So having more protein, healthy fat in the evenings has been shown to help 2 a.m. wake up to sleep.
What if you kind of have like the opposite problem where you want to sleep all the time and you have a hard time getting out of bed?
So
Like
that
always dragging yourself out of bed.
that could be a number of things. Has anyone ever told you that you hold your breath or you snore in the middle of the night? Because that could be a sleep apnea thing.
I might hold my breath, but I don't snore.
So that if I had a client come to me, and I'm not a medical professional, but if I had a client come to me and say, I'm always tired, 2 things I would say: go get some blood work. Make sure you ask for your B12. A lot of times women were notoriously low in our B12, and that can have a huge impact on your energy levels. And also get a sleep apnea test would be the 2 things that I would get somebody to start with. So rule those 2 things out and then figure it out from there. I am going to talk just a little bit about the bedtime routine. This really does help. So thank you for that nice little segue into this slide. A good bedtime routine. Eat enough calories, but when you eat them is important, because if you're not eating enough calories during the day, a lot of times we end up eating the majority of them in the evening, and that will cause you to have sleep disturbances because your body's digesting. Right? If you're spending all night long with your body digesting, you're not going to sleep as well. So going to bed a tiny bit hungry is okay. Making sure that it's more protein, healthy fats in the evening. It's going to be better for digestion, helping you sleep. You're not going to get that cortisol spike in the middle of the night. And then you want to eat enough. If you're hungry, you're not going to sleep either. And if you eat too much, you're not going to sleep well. Magnesium-rich foods. Magnesium has been shown to help sleep. I'm not allowed to prescribe any sorts of supplements.
Magnesium is.
Thank you.
What kind of foods is that in? Just take magnesium capsules.
I have
I'm telling you, what a difference from taking me 3 hours to go to sleep at night to like within the hour.
And the Epsom salts bath, I do that.
Magnesium in Epsom salts bath is also really good. A lot of leafy greens. There's always leafy greens, right? I can get a list for you, but if you Google magnesium rich foods, wondering, there might have even been a slide in this. I had to cut it out because sunlight during the day. Oh, we have a circadian rhythm. We wake up, light, and then we go to bed when it's dark. That's why those cycles, if you can wake up with light and go to bed with dark, you will sleep better. But what happens? What's in our houses now? Everywhere. Screens, there's blue dots, there's red lights, there's green lights, there's flashing lights, there's blinking things, there's right? Light, even when your eyes are closed, still detect the light. Anyone ever done that? You've had your eyes closed and you're like, is that? And you have to, I do, I put things over lights if I'm in like a hotel room
Same.
and they have the clock that's about this big and it's so bright and shining in your eyes. I'm like, I gotta turn that, do something. Blocking light throughout the evening. So we of course live in a society where our time changes, you know, we're not equal day and night, it changes. So trying to find some sort of rhythm where you're waking up at light and starting to settle down in the evening. So making things a little bit darker, closing blinds, closing drapes, dropping the temperature in your room, because your body has to drop a couple of degrees in order to get a really nice deep sleep, maybe not a degree. So it's, you know, we need to do that. So turn down the temperature in the bedrooms before you get in. Going to bed a little bit cool is okay. So comfy when you get up, right? Then you're more comfortable. Self-care, stretching, Epsom salts bath. And then we talked about the 2 a.m. wake. One of the things I do with the 2 a.m. wake up call, let me make sure there's no other chats there. So one thing with the 2 a.m. wake up call is I do have a device in my room. It's not connected to, it's not connected to my internet. There's no social media, anything like that. It's just an old iPad, but I have a few progressive relaxation soundtracks on it so that I just turn that on and I play it and I'll listen to it and that'll help me. Because all I need is something to make me think about something other than what I'm thinking about. And I'll usually go back to sleep. So if I'm not falling back to sleep within the first 5 minutes, I will do something like that just to get me to, or I ask Alexa, play Ocean Waves. 8 minutes. You do that, it's really nice actually. If you like ocean waves, just say, Alexa, play Ocean Waves for 20 minutes. They'll tell you ocean waves and other, and then she'll just, it's also ocean waves for 20 minutes and then it goes off. Just a suggestion if you have an Alexa. Here's some questions to ask when it comes to stress. What are your values? When we talked about what are, you know, some things that we love can cause stress, my value is I love helping women change their lives. I love my children. I love raising good people that aren't, right? I just, that's really important to me, but they still stress me out. But about the values, I like to spend time with my children. I like to have my own time. I very much value taking care of myself and self-care and then helping other women self-care. Where do you spend most of your time and energy? Where do you love to spend your time? So, and these, if anybody wants to grab a picture of this, this is a nice one to kind of sit down and really think about. What lights you up? Oh, lights me up. This lights me up. This. The big one. So your values align with your daily actions. So if you're looking at what you do all day long, where do you spend most of your time and energy, and none of it aligns with your values or what lights you up or where you love spending your time, you're going to be stressed. You're not going to feel good. You're not going to be happy. So it's figuring out, where are my values? Where do I love to spend my time? What lights me up? Are my values aligning with my daily actions? Can you delegate? Oh, then start delegating. You do not have to do it all. You don't have to do it all. Can you draw? Is there honestly something in your life that you can draw? I love volunteering, but there's been a couple things that I have put so much time and energy into that I've had to resign some of my volunteering because it just went beyond my expectation of it was. I had to drop it. I had to. I still love it. I still want to do parts of it. Bulk of it I had to drop. What can you do to remove obstacles and the must-dos? Sorry, what can you do to remove obstacles to the must-do? So I have to do this. So how do we remove those obstacles? What gets in our way? Can you start focusing on your check engine light? It's a big awareness. That's a lot of awareness. Right. We're going to do something. So this is something, again, you would not do while you're driving. This is something that you would do if you're sitting at your desk, if you're sitting in your car and you're parked. And just to give you a little example, we're going to do, be okay if we go like till 12:15. Is that okay? Does anybody have to leave? If you have to leave, I completely understand. But
You're scheduled for 12 till 12:30.
all right.
Nobody should be leaving.
That's what that was.
You have to, I understand.
You have to do. Be nice.
If you have to, I understand, but I'm gonna do this, let's say like maybe 5 to 10 minutes. We're gonna do, and I'm gonna show you how quickly you can change. Hopefully, we're all still relaxed here, but we're not too stressed at the moment. But I wanna help show you how just by getting your mind and changing it and moving it to something different than what you're thinking about, can let the body get a little more relaxed. We have a lot to do this afternoon. I'm tired. I'm sorry if this makes you tired, sleepy. We're gonna give it a try. So I'm gonna sit as well. Just because it helps me when I'm walking you through it. So what I would like you to do, if you're comfortable doing so, I'm gonna get you to just gently close your eyes. I just want you to bring your attention to your breath. No judgment on the breath now. Whether it's shallow, deep, does not matter. You're just focusing on it. Now with your next breath, see if you can slow it down just a little bit. Now let's bring our awareness to the room that we're in. What do you hear? Bring your attention to your sight. You see, even with eyes closed, sometimes there's shapes or colors or movement. What do you feel? Cool air? Seat under your bum? What do you taste? Hey, breakfast? What do you taste? Bring your attention to the top of your head. Right where the hair touches to your scalp. If you can let that relax a little bit. Just ease off of the head. Feel that relaxation move across your forehead. Relax. Relax your eyes. Temples. Relax your jaw. Your mouth. Relax your chin. Relax your neck. Relax the back of your head. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, relax your entire head. Now feel that relaxation move across your upper back, out to your shoulders. If somebody was wrapping a warm blanket around you, feel that relaxation move across your upper arms, elbow, forearm, wrist, back of your hands, palms of your hands. Relax your fingers. Notice which arm feels heavier, left or the right. deep breath in. And as you exhale, relax both arms completely. Feel that relaxation move again to that upper back. Feel the relaxation move down your spine slowly, your mid back, ribs, all the way down lower back, glutes, all the way to your tailbone. Feel that relaxation now move across your upper chest. Very slowly again, as if somebody was placing a warm blanket on you. Feel that relaxation move down across your chest, your ribs. Relax the diaphragm, relax the belly, relax the pelvis. Take a deep breath in. When you exhale, relax your entire upper body. Feel that relaxation move into your hips, to your bum. If somebody was placing a nice warm blanket over your legs, feel that relaxation on your thighs, back of your thighs, back of your knees, of your knee. Relax your shin, relax your calves, ankles, heel, top of your feet, toes. Relax the bottom of your feet. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, relax your entire lower body. Notice which leg feels heavier, left or your right. Take another deep breath in. Fill all the way up. And then as you exhale, imagine that any stress is just exhaling through your body. Relax yourself, head all the way to your toes. Now I want you to imagine the next time you breathe in, I just want you to imagine you're bringing the oxygen and the energy in through the bottom of your right foot. I know that sounds strange. As you inhale, I want you to imagine you're pulling that energy and that oxygen in through the bottom of the right foot, all the way up through the right side of the body, all the way up the center of your forehead. And then as you exhale, imagine all of the stress and the oxygen leaving the left side of your body, all the way down the left side of the body and escaping through the bottom of the left foot. Invert that. Inhale in through the bottom of the left, all the way up, center of your forehead, all the way out through the right side of the body, all the way down, taking any last bit of tension with it out through the bottom of the right foot. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Inhale in through the bottom of the right foot, all the way up, right side, the center of the forehead, and exhale all the way out through the bottom of the left. Last time, in through the bottom of the left foot, all the way up through the left side of the body. top of the head, and exhale, letting everything go on the right side of the body and escape out through the right. Just allow your breathing to return to normal. Focus on that breath for about 30 to 45 seconds, nice and silent. Let your whole body sink into the chair and relax. Slowly, you can wiggle your fingers, close. Take your time and just allow the light to slowly return as you open up your eyes really slowly. That was 2.5 minutes. And what I find a lot of time, I just go breathe. Or I'm gonna count. I'm gonna count my breath. Be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Next thing I know, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Because my brain is still. When I can pinpoint and I can think about something in particular, a body part. All I do is I close my eyes. I was here with my eyes closed with you. I was thinking, oh, my way down. So I was actually focusing on something other than whatever it is I'm thinking about. So if you're lying in bed at night, you can't back to sleep, or you're really stressed and you have 5 minutes, you can pull over, just go focus on something. I said, focus on what can I hear? What can I feel? What can I taste? What can I see? All you're doing is just taking your mind and diverting it somewhere else. It's not negating whatever you're worrying about. It's not going to take it away. But when we can relax that stress response, we're in a much better position to make smarter decisions. How many of us make really smart decisions when we're extremely stressed? Not so often, right? It's when we cool down a little bit and think about it. Sometimes we need that stress, but a lot of times it's when we can kind of think logically and calm down a little bit. That's when we make those more responses that are answers or solutions that we're going to be happy with long term. It's usually when we say things or do things when we're angry that we regret the most, you know. Well, that's all I ask you to do there. So we're integrating mental, physical, spiritual outs. Mindfulness, regular physical activity, healthy eating, sleep, and engaging in activities that bring us joy and fulfillment. Focusing on aligning our daily activities with your value. That was great. I'm going to use that to de-stress on my husband, who has a hard time sleeping. Absolutely. I've done that with my husband where I've just walked him through. I've done it with my children. Improve overall quality of life, better mood, enhance resilience, and a more positive outlook. Remember, we're not just adding years to our life, we're adding life to those years. We want to enjoy the time that we have, that we're blessed with on earth. We want to enjoy that. We just live in a stress state all the time. That's not enjoyment. We want to feel good. And sometimes we have to do the hard stuff in order to feel good. I don't have time for that, but I know that's going to make me feel better in the long run. It's where the priorities and the aligning with the values comes in. This is my hope for you. We're adding life to those years. I'll just say a little thing about what I do, because I'm doing a couple things as I talked about at the beginning. I do have the online platform. I do talk about exercise. We do fitness classes, meal plans. I provide meal plans, and I'm going to give you a link as well that if you scan it, you can get a free meal plan. But I have something else that's happening here. is new and under construction. That's coming in the fall. Healthyhiking.ca. I'm going to be doing workshops, newsletter, courses, some free hiking resources will be there. And I'm also doing starting a backpacking prep program starting in October. So it's going to be a program that I'm doing throughout the winter. But if anybody they're like, I always wanted to back, but I don't know what to do. Am I physically able? Am I mentally able? What do I need? How does it work? So it's going to be, I'm not sure exactly. I'm still working on the logistics. If it's going to be a 4 or 5 month program that we'll do throughout winter to get you physically, and it's going to incorporate, of course, my existing stuff. I'm not completely recreating the wheel because that would cause me stress. So it's going to incorporate some of the stuff that I currently do, but that is something that's coming. And here's 2 things. I have a free meal plan here. If you have the scanner on your phone, if you don't, if you just want to send me an email, say, can I get the free healthy hiking workout? It's a printable and it's a video that you can follow along. It's one of my classes that I did for healthy hiking, or a free meal plan if you're not able to scan. And it's also, the free meal plan is also on that sheet you have. If you're interested in either one of those, scan those, just enter in. I don't spam, mainly because I don't have time to spam people. You're lucky if you get an email every couple of weeks when I have time. But please reach out to me if you have any questions, if you're struggling with any areas. I do work with a lot of women perimenopause and menopause. We do work on a lot of this stuff, and also being really sensible in the way we exercise and we eat. I don't believe in hardcore diets. I also believe that sometimes we gotta fuck it up and do what we need to do. And I know that's not always the gentlest way of saying it, but really does work. That sometimes, yeah, I know you don't want to exercise. You're gonna do it anyways. Yeah, I know you don't want to eat salad. Eat the darn salad. Right? It's, I know you want the glass of wine. No, not all the time. It's about finding that really nice balance where we're feeling good and doing what we have to do in order to add years to our life and life. So please feel free to reach out to me. I love what I do and I love helping people, and I feel my success is when somebody else really can make a pivotal change in their life so they feel freaking amazing. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. If anybody has any questions, I'm here. Sure. So please feel free, ask questions. You're welcome. Anybody have anything that maybe was mentioned that you're kind of percolating a little bit, that you're like, hey, that's actually doable?
We're all zened out now.
I can even feel my voice. That's why I left it right to the very end, because I can even feel myself just, whoa, anybody else want to take a nap break? Yeah. So imagine, if you were stressed and you took 5 minutes to do something like that and just let everything calm down a little bit, let the tension go, let your brain focus on something else, even if it is only focusing on something else for 5 minutes and you're right back. At least it's giving your body a fighting, sorry, that's kind of like a oxymoron, but fighting chance to actually do what it needs to do and just calm your mind. And it's a really good feeling when you can get there, when you can kind of, I don't want to say let things slide, because I don't know if I'll ever let anything slide per se, but it's when I'm aware of how my body responds when I'm stressed, it helps me stop and go, oh, I'm doing this in a really stressful situation, and I know nothing ever good comes of that. So what do I need to do to step away from this? Calm myself down a little bit in whatever way, whatever out I want to take on that particular day, then come back to it. Anybody else ever do that? You're really struggling. You can't figure something out online. If you just step away from it, you come back and you go, oh, well, that was easy. It's because you stepped away from it.
Yeah, you mentioned avoiding foods that cause inflammation. Can you give us some examples of foods?
I think the biggest culprits are generally sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar and sugar has been known to really affect your immune system as well.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it's dairy and gluten,
Yeah.
but not necessarily. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people are just cutting out gluten because they just don't, because somebody's told them. But if you don't have a gluten intolerance and you don't have a gluten sensitivity, usually you can eat gluten quite fine. It's a lot of times it's how much. I know. A lot of times it's how much. That's like a bit of sugar. A little bit of sugar is sometimes okay. You know, you bite into that nice chocolate or have that glass of wine, and it's when it becomes the addiction and you
Yeah.
need it and your body is needing it, that's when it causes inflammation. Some people, dairy is a huge factor. Or sometimes it could be that you have a food allergy that you don't even know of. Some people, it's like nightshades, which is tomatoes and potatoes, which most of us would be absolutely fine with, and it's actually really good for somebody who has a sensitivity to it or an allergy to it. That's going to cause a little inflammation in their body. So that's when you have to start doing research. You have to get, some medical teams on board if you're able to. I know in Canada it's not always easy, but or something like an elimination diet where you kind of, and you can do that. Search Google elimination diet. It'll tell you what some of the top ones are. Eliminate all of them, and then you very slowly, like as if you're feeding a baby.
Yeah.
You introduce one. How do I feel? Wait a little while.
Wait.
Introduce another one. See how you feel. And a lot of times that will give you an indication. So if you find that it's presenting itself in your stomach, in your digestion, diarrhea, constipation, just in the way you feel like you're digesting your food, skin, your hair, a lot of that is inflammation within the body, and it's figuring out what's causing that. A lot of people, it's medication they take. They might be taking a medication for something, and then it's presenting itself as something completely different. So it's really getting some body awareness, because I think those of us that are the most aware of what our body is doing, we can catch things more quickly.
Yeah.
And the people who just ignore it and don't have a lot of body awareness, because they're just, I just gotta do this, and then they focus, and it's until their car falls apart. Right? They're ignoring the check engine light until the motor falls out.
The dummy light, as my husband likes to call it.